Hello, this is Lauren, the SEO specialist at Sec Insights. And today I just wanted to give a quick tutorial of RankMath within the WordPress page and post creator. RankMath is a very common tool that many people use to assist in their SEO. It has a lot of different functionalities, and one of the things that it does is it helps you optimize your pages and blog posts. Let's just dive right in. When you pull up a new post, like you see here, one of the things that you'll notice is in the top right-hand corner, there's a bunch of little tabs. This is where a lot of your plugins and extensions will show up. This little box that's highlighted right now that says settings, this is the default one, and it will be important later. So keep that in mind. We'll come back to it in a minute. This box here that says 0 out of 100 and has the little bar graph with the line graph arrow at the bottom, that is our RankMath toolbar. Let's look at a couple of different things. This general box is the area that you will probably be using the most. There are 3 other little tabs here that get into some of the more technical details and give you some more advanced options. It starts off with this little preview box. Now, what it's previewing is the way that search engines will display your page within the actual search engine. So right now, all you see is web design, Colorado Springs, because I don't have a title. So if I added a title to my blog post using RankMath to improve SEO, okay, you'll notice that it auto-populates this little preview box. And then if I start typing, this is a test, then it'll start to show underneath it as your description. Now you can actually go in here and edit your snippet. If you do not want the title to autofill with the title of the post and your site name, you can go in and change that. Improving SEO with RankMath. And then you have the permalink. That's this URL right at the top of your page. If it does not fill out with anything, my suggestion is to use the title of your post. Okay. Makes it a little bit easier. And then your description. RankMath in the snippet editor just calls this a description. Later on, they'll call it a SEO meta description. They basically mean the same thing. If you do not fill this out, Google will sometimes just like randomly choose something and populate it for you with what it thinks is best. But I always like to have a little bit more control. And it allows me to select like, okay, what is the most engaging beginning snippet that will get people to click on my article. So the next section that we have is this focus keyword. SEO relies a lot on keywords, and even though the search engine algorithm is changing the way that it looks at keywords, and so they're not important in the same way that they have been in the past, they still are a very helpful tool, at the very least for us who are optimizing pages, to help us make sure that our articles and pages have all the things they need for the algorithm to pick up and rank our site well. So you can put whatever keyword you want in this box. If you are doing a general web page, like this is going to be a main landing page, your home page, or a subcategory after your home page, your keyword is probably going to be something a little bit broader, right? So we're a web design and development company. So if I was creating, say, the landing page for SEO, I would want my keyword to be SEO or search engine optimization, something along those lines. And I can add multiple keywords. I would not recommend you adding more than 1 to 2 keywords. After our focus keyword, we then have 4 categories of factors which best practice indicates are ranking factors. They either directly impact how well you rank, or they potentially hurt how you rank, or they indirectly impact it. Regardless, these are the things that kind of the industry has agreed on as being best practices. So under basic SEO, this is probably the most important box to get mostly check marks in general, because it is kind of the core, the bare minimum, so to speak. So it's checking for, is your focus keyword in the SEO title? Okay. In this title right here, okay? Is your focus keyword in that? Is your focus keyword here? Is your focus keyword found in your SEO meta description? Okay, so if I change this and I said SEO is important for a successful business. You guys get to see how bad I am at spelling. Okay. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay. You'll now notice that in the preview, our meta description now has SEO bolded because SEO is our focus keyword, right? And it's now marked off in the meta description. RankMath is also telling us that the focus keyword is not found in the URL. Again, you can edit that in the preview section that I showed you earlier. The next thing is focus keywords appear in the first 10% of content. So like I said, Google is moving away from valuing keywords in the same way that it has in the past, right? In the past, you would put your keyword in the right place, the right number of times, and that was kind of a formula for success. If you did that, you were well set up to rank highly within the algorithm. Now, Google's algorithm has a little bit of a better understanding of the way human language works. It's a little bit more complex. So whereas before, let's take it in a very, very extreme case, right? You could put the keywords in the right places, the right number of times, and then the rest of the article could be nonsense or not helpful at all, right? And Google would still rank it. But Google wants to give their customers, the people who are searching, the most relevant information that they can to their search queries. So in order to do that, they have to understand what people are actually asking, the intent, and also what articles are actually about so that they can accurately match up search intent with information. And so one of the ways that they're doing this understanding is they're saying, okay, well, it's less important to have the right number of keywords in the right places. And it's more important to just have good quality content, right? It might not be super important that the word SEO is in the first 10% of your content. But at the same time, that's just good quality writing. If you spend the first 10% of your content not talking about SEO at all, your reader is going to be very, very confused, right? And the search engine is going to be like, here's a totally irrelevant post for what my customer is asking for, because it's not entirely sure what you're talking about, because the context of the article as a whole doesn't appear to have the useful information they're looking for. So even though the reason that this is here is becoming less significant, it's still a really good marker of whether or not Google will rank your article. Another thing, focused keyword found in content. Again, this is something that is just good writing, right? If you're writing an article about the thing, then you need to talk about the thing, right? You need to make sure that your content matches what you would like to be ranking for. It's getting harder and harder to trick Google into giving you those clicks, right? And then the next thing, the content is 7 words long. Yeah, not very long. Consider it being at least 600 words. This is something that a lot of people get stuck on, because especially when creating pages, not so much with blog posts, but especially with pages, less words are better. Human attention span is getting shorter and shorter all the time. I want to be able to scan and browse for information. This seems like a much better idea. And the answer to that is yes and no. Sometimes having less information on a page is more helpful to the user, but not having enough information is also problematic for the user. So it's about finding a balance, right? And with search engines, if there is not enough information, there's just not enough information for the algorithm to work with in order to rank it. So it's good practice to make sure that you have content that's around, I would say minimum 300 words. It depends on who you ask what that actual limit is. One thing you'll notice is that this box might not turn green. It might turn orange. And that's perfectly okay. If you have all greens in this basic SEO category and an orange check mark, that is perfectly acceptable. Okay, then we have the additional box. These are things that are a little bit past basic SEO, but they're still generally important. So the first category is focus keywords are not found in subheadings like H2, H3, H4, etc. Breaking up your content into nifty little sections that have headings is not only helpful for algorithms, which help the computer better read your article, it's also helpful for people. Sometimes if you're writing a blog post, your article might have popped up for a very specific question. And if the user can easily navigate to that area, that section, that's just gonna be better in the long run in general. And it also just helps keep your page looking nice and well organized without being overwhelming with text. Add an image with your focus keyword as alt text. You cannot add alt text in RankMath, okay? So let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to add an image from my media library, and we're just going to add this nice little image. So you'll notice that here, I can, if I'm uploading from a media library, I can add alt text here. So that's one option. If you're choosing an image that you already have uploaded to your site, right, you can add alt text in right here. If you're uploading it, it doesn't give you this nice little side bar thing. So I'll show you what to do. So when you have the image uploaded and added to your web page and it's highlighted, you go back to this little box of settings. Remember I said, remember that thing. And you'll notice that it switched from post to block because I've selected the block that is an image. And I can change the style, right? Whatever. But this is where I put the alternative text. And you'll describe the purpose of the image and incorporate your keyword in here, right? So I might say Colorado mountain range in the fall with aspens turning golden. And then I would insert the title of my article or something along those lines. Some images are obviously a lot more relevant than others. So they'll be easier to add your target keywords in than others. So let's go back to our little thing. Now we have an image with our keyword and the alt attribute. Then you have keyword density is 14.29, which is high because we have it once, but we only have like 10 words, right? 7 words. So one of the things that I would look out for in this one in particular is you do not want your keyword density to be high. If it's low, but it's low because there are lots of other terms that you've used that the search engine will be able to pick up on, whatever, that's more acceptable. If it is high, it is what Google calls keyword stuffing. And it is something that Google could potentially penalize your site for. Google flags it and says, they're just trying to rank. This isn't actually helpful content. This won't be helpful to our users. So we're going to penalize you for doing that. The URL is 47 characters long. Shorter URLs are better. Sometimes that's kind of hard to do, but I always recommend shorter URLs. It just makes things cleaner and easier. Link out to external resources, and then adding the follow, like allowing search engines to follow that link. This is something that you can feasibly not do and still be ranked. It's something that can help you, but not having it doesn't necessarily hurt you. If you're referencing any information, linking to that information is overall a good idea, because you're giving credit, you're not plagiarizing. And it sets you apart as being one, human, and makes your article feel more natural. Because when we're talking about things, often we're referencing, oh, this news article, this government agency, this expert in the field, right? Where we're referencing other people. And so linking out to them is generally good practice. It also creates and generates backlinks to other sites, which is something that Google uses as a ranking factor, the number of backlinks or references to your sites. But if you don't have links out to external resources, it's not going to make or break whether or not you rank. Having internal links in your content. I would highly recommend doing this, especially on things like news articles and blog posts. You are linking back to other relevant pages on your site, particularly if you're selling something. So for example, this is, I'm writing this article about using RankMath to improve SEO. At the end of the article, I'm going to link to my landing page for my SEO services. And that way, if people find the information that I'm giving helpful and they need SEO help, then they're like, oh, okay, here's someone that I can go to. Internal linking also helps the structure of your site, one, make more sense to Google, but also make sure that people stay on your page because there are more things that they can go to. If you don't have a product or service that you're selling, or if it doesn't fit, then link to another article with additional information, link to a project that you've done in the past that connects to this topic that you're writing about. There are lots and lots of options, but it's an opportunity. It makes it easy for people to stay on your site and to click through it. You haven't used this focus keyword before. While this isn't the most important thing, right? Because we can just change the keyword and not change the article. Basically, the reason that they're saying, yay, it's great you haven't used this focus keyword before, is because you don't want to be competing with your own content. Ideally, you shouldn't have to compete with yourself. But there are instances where you might have the same keyword because it's something that you write a lot about, and it's not the end of the world. Especially because what you put in here as your focus keyword is not information that Google then takes and says, well, their focus keyword was SEO, so we can only rank them for SEO. The algorithm makes those decisions based off of the content of the article. Use Content AI to optimize this post. This is something that can have a red X. That's totally fine. That's RankMath asking you basically to use more of their services, which is fine, but won't affect your Google ranking at all. And then title readability. So your focus keyword is used at the beginning of your SEO title, which is ironic because this is used at the very end of my SEO title. Your title has a positive or negative sentiment, right? Improve, best, worst. Your title does not contain a power word. Power words are basically words that evoke a really strong response. If you have done any marketing, this will make a lot of sense to you. If you haven't, it might be a little bit weird. They're basically asking, like, is your title something that is relevant, to the point, and grabs people's attention? Then your SEO title doesn't contain a number. For this particular article, I don't need a number. I could write 5 tips for using RankMath to improve SEO, right? That would be an option to add a number. But I think if you have at least one of these things, you're probably fine. And then content readability, a table of contents. I think this is a plugin that on this particular site we have automatically even though there's not a listed table of contents. You're using short paragraphs, because I haven't really written anything. Again, that's about readability, both for your human audience and for the bots that crawl your site. And then your content has images or videos. Also an important thing, makes it engaging, gives more information, right, overall. So then after you've kind of done all of that, RankMath will give you a score up here at the top. Right now it's 57 out of 100. You do not need to get 100 in order to have a good article that has the possibility and potential of ranking. I would aim for getting this little button to turn green. Don't worry about the number itself. One thing that you really have to remember is that this is a tool, but it is not Google itself. And that score is not a guarantee of ranking or of where you'll rank. It's just basically saying, out of all of the things that we consider best practice, how close are you to following these specific things? It's possible that your page will rank without having an 100 out of 100 or a 97. It just depends on the content itself in your article and your site as a whole. But that's a breakdown of using this tool. And hopefully you found that helpful. If you do have any questions, any SEO questions, or you need site help, you can go on to the Stack Insights website and schedule a discovery call, or shoot me an email, and I would be more than happy to help answer questions.